Okay, this is part 2 of the lathe video. We did quite a few videos on the lathe, but we're going to kind of just hit the high spots here, and then I encourage everybody to search YouTube for other instructional videos to kind of get into more detail. If you find one aspect of what we're doing here today, as if I've left information out or you want to know more about it, there are millions of videos out there that'll help. So just kind of pay attention to the terminology and then do searches for that. Okay, so to turn this lathe on, there's a switch over here, which is down here, and turn that on just like so. It'll turn the DRO on, which is the digital readout. I'm going to go ahead and chuck up a part. We're just going to cut some aluminum real quick, just to kind of get a feel for what the machine sounds like and how it cuts. Okay, so this machine is really great for beginners because the spindle will not turn, the machine will not engage unless this is closed. So for beginners, a big mistake is they'll leave the chuck key in there just like that, turn the machine on, and it'll throw the chuck key. This machine, it does not allow you to do that, so super great feature on this beginner machine. Okay, so I've put some pressure on that. This is kind of like a drill chuck. You know, you can actually turn all 3 or 4 of these to get a really good bite. You know, turning 2 out of 50% or more of them is great, and that'll be a good enough bite for this setup. We're going to talk about stick out. You'll notice I'm not supporting it on the end. I'm not going to be applying a lot of side force for this demonstration, so supporting it on the end isn't really necessary at this time. I just kind of want to get a feel for what this machine sounds like and how to make it cut. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I pre-selected my speeds. I've verified the direction of cut and everything, but this is probably a good thing to double check. So I'm going to move the saddle away from the part, and I'm going to confirm that when I spin this, nothing hits it. The tool post isn't going to run into this assembly and setup. Everything's great. So I could feasibly go ahead and engage the machine by taking this lever right here with my right hand out and down, and it should turn on. So here we go. It's at a good 500 RPM clip. So what I want to do here is double check my power feed. The tailstock is totally out of the way. If I engage this and I accidentally push down or push up when I meant to go the other way, and I engage the cross slide instead of the saddle, this is just a good double check and safety check for myself to ensure that I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to look at the diagram. I know I want to move the saddle, which is that. So that means this lever needs to be pointing up. So I'm going to pull all the way to the left and then pull up, and now it's traveling. Okay, I'm going to stop, go back to neutral, and just get a feel for what that feels like. Okay, you do this enough, you'll always double check, you'll get in that rhythm, and then you'll have a good feeling for what does it take to lift that up. Okay, so with it in the neutral position, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to back away from the part. I'm always going to make sure that this tool post is not going to flash or run into anything. I want to make sure I don't run the tool post into this guard here. So I'm going to go ahead and get close to the part. I'm going to sneak up on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the cross slide dial until I see just a little bit of material come off. Okay, there it is. Now I know that I can cut material at that depth. So I'm going to back off the part away just like so. This is the x-axis that I'm traveling in this way. This is your x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and zero that out. So I hit X, 0, enter. And now I'm going to go ahead and advance just a little bit. Okay. At this point I can go ahead and sneak back up on the part, and I can engage the power feed. So here we go. There's my first cut. Now I'm watching to make sure I don't hit anything, and that's close enough for my comfort level because of the proximity of the tool post components. This is a parting tool to that shroud. Now I can take that out and get closer if I want. There are plenty of techniques. You can put in an undercut, which gives you a visual cue to stop. So look at undercutting on tool part or on machine lathes, and it'll give you a good tutorial there. So before I move anything else, I'm going to back off the part. Just go ahead and stop it. I'm backed off the part, and I'm going to retract. And at this point, I know by looking at my readout, if I go back to 0, and then I do a negative, it's tracking in the negative, and I'm sure that you can flip this around on this DRO so it tracks positive. I can take some more material off. Okay, so the question of how much material can you take off, how fast should you go? On these manual setups, you always experiment, start slow, and try to go faster. When the machine starts to chatter and squeal at you, you know you probably need to slow down or take off less material. You really just need to experiment. The name of the game on these machines is really just safety more than anything. Don't ever get your hands in here when this spindle's spinning. Don't try to remove a bird's nest of material when it's spinning. Just turn the machine off, let everything stop, then pull it off. Keep in mind, those chips, if it does bird's nest, are very sharp. They're little razor blades. So grab some pliers. Don't ever wear gloves around this spinning. It'll pull your hand in and you'll chew that up. We don't want any accidents. So just make sure the machine's stopped, grab some pliers, pull that bird's nesting off. Depending upon what kind of material you'll be working, it could be very hot too, so just keep that in mind. So that's just a simple cut on the lathe. The left is, everything else from here is up to your imagination. Like I said, just be safe.